This is a new series on the James Lawrence Allcott channel where we take a look, have a look at the best page on the internet, the best website, Reddit. Check out Reddit Soccer, see some of the bits that I enjoy and have a chat with you about them. Pele's up to his old tricks again. I know. Now look, this guy, what a player. What a player, he really was great, and to meet him, look, to meet him would be an honour. It would be incredible. He was one of the best players of probably about 3 or 4 generations. One of the best players of all time, and look, he said some amazing things over the years, and he said, even just the other week when Gordon Banks unfortunately passed away, he said some really beautiful, genuine things. However, he gets away with some shit, doesn't he? I mean, he's sort of like one of the last kind of superheroes before there was a camera phone in your face at all times. And I think he misses the attention, to be fair to him, and I understand that, but he gets away with murder. And I think he gets away with all this stuff, and he probably has done his whole life because of his nickname, Pele. You can't really dig out a guy called Pele. You know, normally you go, like a teacher, she says your full name. James Lawrence Allcott, put that down. Edson Arantes do Nascimento. Forget it. Yeah, just do what you want. He is a great footballer, but like many footballers, once they hang up their boots, they talk utter bullshit for the rest of their lives. This is the guy who said that Lionel Messi needs to score 1,238 goals to be considered the greatest player of all time. Because, of course, that's the amount of goals he scored. You do know he counts the bicycle kick from escape to victory. This is the guy who said that Nick Barmby is right up there with Zinedine Zidane, Paolo Maldini, and Ronaldo.
Nicky Barmby.
And the tweet they put out this week is right up there with the greatest goal that he supposedly scored. Now, I don't know if you've seen this on YouTube, but Pele described the greatest goal that he ever scored for Santos. And, of course, they don't have footage of this, which is helpful for him. So maybe he embellished a little bit, or maybe it was totally factually accurate. I'm sure it was factually accurate. But apparently this is the best goal that he ever scored. Over 1, 2, 3... That'll do. Really? I swear he's flying at the end there. Anyway, he was tweeting this week and he said, I love the thought that this is actually Pele tweeting, just chasing the bang, just hoping for, just gasping for a retweet. He bloody loves a meme, Pele. I once got sent off in a game against Colombia. The decision was so unpopular with the crowd that the referee then sent himself off. You're lying, Pele. Edson... What's his fucking name? Edson Arantes do Nascimento. Do you know who never got sent off? Gary Lineker. That's who. Didn't even get a booking. And his Twitter game shits on yours, Pele. The decision was so unpopular that the referee sent himself off. No, he didn't. He didn't do that. That didn't happen, Pele. First of all, this game is against Colombia. So it's an international fixture. So surely the referee knows the rules. And if the referee knows the rules, because he must do, because he's a referee for an international fixture between Brazil and Colombia, then sending yourself off isn't a rule. What was such an unpopular booking that he sent himself off? I reckon he was sent off for 2 bookable offences. First of all, he went into the crowd to deliver twins for a single mother who went into labour early. And the second one, unfortunately, went into the crowd again, performing a Heimlich manoeuvre for the president's only son, who was choking on sweets that Pele himself had bought as a kind gesture to the Colombian fans in this crucial World Cup qualifier. I think you're just bored and trying to see what you can get away with. And to be honest, I think that's what the erectile dysfunction thing was. I reckon the erectile dysfunction thing was just a chat-up line. Hi, Mr. Pele. I'm really sorry about your erectile dysfunction. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. It's I'm just waiting for the right woman to, you know, bring it back to life. If only there was someone who had the power. Creepy. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I went viral this week. I skipped into the living room, told the missus, I went, love, I've gone viral. She was fuming, which is fair enough, but then I gave her the context that actually it was just a tweet that I put out, and it was because I showcased the muggiest referee in the world. So in a game in the Polish League, Legia Warsaw played Cracovia. Now it was a bad result for them anyway, they lost 2-0. But for William Remy, it got even worse because he was essentially trolled by the referee. So he got sent off for a second bookable offence. He went down the tunnel, he thought his afternoon was over. Then, a glimmer of hope. The referee calls him back because he's looked at VAR. William Remy comes back, he rushes back, of course he does. He goes, oh look, VAR, he's seen that what I've done isn't that bad. and I'm going to be able to get back on the pitch. I'm going to be able to help my team. We're going to draw 2-2. Life's going to be great. But it turns out the reincarnation of Graham Poll was on hand to absolutely ruin it. Now let's break down this clip. So he thinks he's fine. He's racing back onto the pitch. Then he makes him come back, brandishes the red card. Now this is where it gets pretty difficult to watch, because the smirk on the referee's face, look at that. He is delighted. The polar opposite, or Polish opposite, sorry, William Remy, he is in utter shock. And then of course, just pan over to your right, number 19, loving every second of it. The other players in white are in total shock. It gets to the point where William Remy's just got to laugh at it. I mean, what else can you do but apart from laugh at things? That's football, you know? Even if you are going through something difficult, you know, even if you're a dedicated QPR fan, maybe a dedicated QPR fan who's then one of your best players gets injured and they score in the 94th minute again. But you gotta laugh. You've got to laugh at these things. My favourite bit is where the shock is starting to kind of settle in and Remy stops, turns back and goes, really? It looks like he's waiting for Rio Ferdinand to sort of step out from the dug and go, you've been murked. Crystal Palace fans were let down by one of their own recently in a game televised on the BBC.
Certainly, I'm desperate for that.
I get it. I get the whole thing. Palace, they have their ultras, but this guy is really letting them down because he's just a bit of a melt. He looks like a German TK Maxx threw up on him. The fashion police must be losing their minds. Excuse me, you're gonna need to let me get in there. Yeah, this is serious. You don't understand. There's a bloke in there wearing a balaclava, short sleeve shirt and a gilet. Now for me, I can live with the short sleeve shirt. I can even live with the balaclava, but I draw the line at the gilet, and I'm from Surrey. Want to know who the most important player in the Premier League is? Mohamed Salah? Nope. Paul Pogba? No. Fernandinho? Nah. It's Aaron Gunnarsson. Cardiff City. Now I know what you're thinking, James is pandering to the Icelandic Cardiff City YouTube community again. And although that is a niche I would love to corner, I actually have some stats to back this up. It really is amazing. The games that he's played, 16 appearances, 7 wins. That's a 43.7% win ratio for a team that is right down the bottom, struggling to win games. And then when he's not playing, they haven't won a single game all season. They're conceding less goals, they're scoring more goals. Aaron Gunnarsson, you are crucial. Your influence is there for all to see. Thank you very much, Reddit. Feyenoord defender Sven van Beek scored his 5th own goal of the season against goalkeeper Kenneth Vermeer, making him the player that Vermeer has conceded most goals against in his entire career. This puts Van Beek in a very exclusive pantheon of players who will be known for their own goals, and 80, 90 years when his time comes, he'll go to heaven, he'll pass through those pearly white gates, he'll go to his heavenly beautiful pub, the greatest local of all, where every drink you have tastes like the most refreshing first drink that you've ever had, because it's heaven. And just as he gets his whiskey, he's a whiskey man, Van Beek, he grabs his whiskey and he goes to put it to his mouth. He'll look across the pub and Frank Sinclair, Jamie Carragher and Richard Dunn will be looking straight back at him going, Messi is a joke, isn't he? Is he the best in the world? Is he the greatest of all time? Is he better than Ronaldo? Let me know in the comments below. In a recent game against Valladolid, Barcelona had 20 shots on goal. Messi had 12 of those shots and he created the 8 other chances. Does this mean he's the greatest? I mean, no. Or yes. You've made your mind up already. But it's always good to know. I mean, I'm a Messi man, always have been. I don't really like the idea of Lionel Messi being a one-club man. That is the only one thing I don't like about him. He's playing at this top level with all these great players. Can you prove it at a lesser club? Maybe a team that plays in blue and white hoops. Maybe a change of scenery, change of country. No one likes a one-club man. Not anymore, not in the modern game. It's weird. It makes me nervous, the fact that you're only going to be at Barcelona, because the only other legend who played for just one club, who was a bit camera shy, played on the left-hand side a lot, it's Ryan Giggs. And I don't know if my heart can take it. Your team, whoever you support, if you had Lionel Messi in your team, where do you think you would finish? Let me know right now in the comments below. An Italian Serie C match descended into farce on Sunday as Cuneo beat Pro Piacenza 20-0. Pro Piacenza hadn't been able to pay their players, try and say that 3 times, and so the squad decided to go on strike. They hadn't been able to put forward a team in their last 4 fixtures. If you get to 5 fixtures, then you get expelled from the league. So they had to do something. So they cobbled together 7 players, which is the minimum that you need for a game, and they played the game. This team consisted of 6 teenagers and the massage therapist. Janine, how busy are you this afternoon? A 19-year-old Nicola Sirigliano was listed as the coach for the game. I imagine he's probably work experience. So look, let's get you doing something. I'll tell you what, actually, we've got something this afternoon if you fancy it. Yeah, I'll be up for that. That's fine. Yeah. Look, anything you need. I'm here to help. Yeah. So if you could just like captain us in a game, make your debut, and coach, be the coach as well. We've got 7 players. Yeah, kickoff's 3. Is that right? So of course the game was an absolute disaster for them. They let in 16 goals in the first half. The 2 strikers scored 5 and 6 goals, an Italian league record apiece. And Cuneo, who had scored 18 goals in 24 games prior to that, scored 20 in 1. The Serie C president said this was an absolute debacle and that it must never happen again. He also chucked in a sly little dig at the parents. This was an incredible violation of the foundations of sporting principles. I'm also horrified that the parents of those kids allowed them to go out there and play just to tell their friends that they'd made their debuts in professional football. You're digging them out of all the people that you can dig out. Not the players that have gone on strike, not the people that are not paying those players. You're going to dig out the 7 teenagers and Janine, the massage therapist. And in a final lesson of how football is so topsy-turvy, just remember that Pro Piacenza were actually top of the league after 3 games. They won the first 3 games. So it's funny how it can turn around. So you never know. Thank you very much for watching the first episode of Reddit Soccer. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then hit the like button and the subscribe button to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. And if you want to keep on watching some more of my videos, here is a video where I predict who is going to win the Premier League.